Imagine, if you will, arrows so thick they blotted out the sun, a storm of iron descending. Majestic knights, the pride of an age, brought low by a relentless, unseen force. Their world shattered, and then silence. A heavy, aching quiet over a field of unimaginable carnage. History held its breath. One man, perhaps, among many, witnessing the impossible. A testament to courage, grit, and changing times. How could such a thing be? A smaller force standing against an empire, rewriting all the rules. Picture yourself upon that ground, facing odds that would make the bravest heart falter. 3-1. On one side, the finest knights of Europe, gleaming steel and ancient pride, an unbreakable, fearsome war. On the other, an army, weary from march, smaller in number, with nothing left to lose. For them, the chances were zero. Conventional wisdom whispered defeat, an inevitable, crushing, final end. Yet, their destiny was grander, to rewrite the rules of war forever, against all expectations and beliefs. This is the story of Crecy, 1346, a name that echoes with the impossible, a profound clash of titans, an exhausted, smaller English army, their journey long, their supplies dwindling, their spirit tested. Against them, an overwhelming French force, confident in numbers, brimming with the zeal of chivalry. But something remarkable was about to unfold. A revolutionary victory, unforeseen, shattering old ways. It would forever reshape how battles were fought, not with brute force, but with cunning and precision. The impossible odds stacked against them, a 3-1 disadvantage, seemed insurmountable to any observer. The profound historical significance of this clash would ripple through centuries, altering destinies and nations. A single, brutal day that pitted arrogance against innovation, tradition against a burgeoning new world. The echo of that distant day still whispers, a story of human spirit, resilience, and true grit. Crecy wasn't just a battle, it was a turning point, a testament to what courage can achieve. Join me as we journey back to truly feel the weight of this incredible, profound story. Let us uncover the moments when the impossible became reality, forever etched in the annals of time. Our journey today takes us back, dear friend, to a distant echo of time, a world both grand and unforgiving. Here, in the heart of the 14th century, a storm was brewing, a tempest of nations. It would be known to history as the 100 Years' War, a name whispered with dread for generations. This was no fleeting skirmish, but a brutal, drawn-out agony, scarring the very soul of the land. At its core lay tangled webs of king's blood, ancient claims to distant thrones, stirring old rivalries. Two proud kingdoms, England and France, found themselves locked in a dance of destiny and despair. Beyond crowns, disputed lands sparked fierce longing, territories rich in soil and vital ports. This was medieval Europe.
Put your backs into it. The master expects this sown by nightfall.
Unyielding ties of feudalism. Every man knew his place, from the lowliest serf to the mightiest lord. A rigid, ancient order, and guiding many, the solemn, sometimes romantic, often brutal code of chivalry held sway. Honor, courage, piety. These were the ideals, though often bent to the will of human ambition. Dominating the battlefield stood the French heavy cavalry, a thunderous, seemingly unstoppable force. These knights, ironclad and resolute, were the very embodiment of power, almost beyond defeat. Their gleaming armor and martial prowess were legendary, a testament to France's military might. On one side, King Edward III of England, a man of fierce ambition and unwavering royal will. He felt his claim to the French throne was just, a destiny whispered by his royal lineage. Facing him, King Philip VI of France, a ruler determined to defend his cherished, sacred soil.
Your
His
Majesty,
crown was his birthright,
the Dauphin's forces
a
are
sacred
stretched
trust
thin.
from God and his
the
ancestors
English prepare their invasion
to be protected.
fleet.
The balance was fragile, a delicate dance of power, ready to shatter with any misstep. Two empires driven by pride and ancient rights stood on the precipice of a long, terrible war. This wasn't just about kings, but about countless lives. caught in the grinding gears of history. The sheer scale of the coming conflict was immense, unimaginable to those living peaceful lives. The land itself would groan under the weight of armies, scarred by battles and endless sieges. Medieval warfare was visceral, close quarters, a brutal test of courage, skill, and sheer endurance. Kings believed their power divine, their every decision shaping the fates of their entire nations. For Edward and Philip, this was deeply personal. Their legacies, their very souls, were on the line. Edward's ambition soared, a hawk seeking its prey, envisioning a unified, English-ruled France. Philip's resolve was equally steadfast, rooted deeply in the ancient soil of his beloved kingdom. Two titans, two nations, were now hurtling towards an inevitable, earth-shattering collision of wills. And it was upon such a quiet field that the stage for Crecy, a pivotal moment, was truly set. For generations, France stood as Europe's military colossus. Their gleaming armor, their very presence, commanded immense respect. Their heavy cavalry, especially, was considered the pinnacle of martial prowess, an unstoppable thundering force. Deep in their hearts, a belief in the inherent superiority of the knightly class was deeply ingrained. The code of chivalry, though idealized, provided a framework for their martial identity, their sense of purpose. They fought with valor, with honor, believing their very presence struck fear into any foe. Indeed,
if we move the troops
for
through
many,
Artois,
French
we can
arms were
surprise the
synonymous
English.
with
It is a
victory.
perilous route,
Their
sir,
dominance
but it may
unquestioned
grant
across
us
the
the
continent.
advantage.
Their confidence wasn't merely arrogance. It was built on centuries of martial success, shaping their very identity. They held fast to a military philosophy steeped in tradition, in the power of the individual armored knight. This was the established order, the bedrock of warfare. French chivalry, perceived as invincible truly. From Iberian coasts to Germanic lands, their might was acknowledged, an undeniable force of their age. Across the Channel, England's forces presented a different picture, often underestimated, even dismissed by many. They were seen primarily as opportunistic raiders, more concerned with plunder than grand, chivalric conquest. Their gear was less flamboyant, their numbers often smaller, reflecting a different, harsher reality. But within this perceived weakness lay a profound strength. England's pragmatic approach to warfare. Their focus wasn't on individual glory, but on collective survival, on doing what worked. The often overlooked yet critical role of their disciplined infantry was about to be seen. They understood the ground, the value of positioning, the strength found in unity, not just individual prowess. A different kind of warrior was forged here,
and push straight
one
through.
valuing practicality over pomp,
Now you try
grit
it.
over glamour.
Good, hold.
This
They
is
weren't
thin
fighting
fare,
for
but
grand
better than
ideals
nothing.
alone.
Indeed.
They
We
fought
are
for their
fortunate
lives,
for the fire's warmth.
for each other.
May-
And then there was their secret weapon, truly revolutionary. The English longbowmen, a force unknown. These weren't noble knights. They were common folk, farmers and foresters, wielding a deadly craft. Each arrow represented years of dedicated practice, strength, and an uncanny, inherited skill. Imagine, if you will, thousands of these arrows raining down, a storm of silent death. Their disciplined formations, their ability to unleash devastating volleys, was completely unprecedented in warfare. It was a weapon that didn't care for lineage or noble blood. It sought only its mark. This humble bow challenged the very foundation of chivalric warfare, rendering heavy armor vulnerable. It forced a new reckoning, a strategic shift from individual prowess to collective, devastating ranged power. Here lay the dramatic clash of military philosophies, tradition versus innovation, splendor versus pragmatism. The stage was set for a profound confrontation, a moment where old ways would meet a harsh new reality. And in this clash, not only was a battle fought, but the very trajectory of European warfare changed. Edward's mind was set, a dangerous gamble, a march into the very heart of France. From the
Secure the
gentle shores
landing.
of Normandy,
Move
a
quickly,
new
men,
chapter
we
of
march
defiance
inland.
began, echoing ancient challenges. Dust rose with each step, a silent declaration of intent, journeying into unknown, hostile lands. The chevauchée began, a grim necessity of war, burning its indelible mark upon the land. Harvests, once symbols of life, now fed the flames, a brutal strategy heartbreaking to witness. Edward knew this pain would call Philip forth, an invitation to a dance of death. Innocent lives bore the heaviest burden, caught between king's ambitions, a terrible familiar plight. Whispers of destruction grew to
This
roars,
scroll
reaching
details the
French
movements
court,
of the English,
sparking
sire.
royal fury.
It is
Philip, at first disbelieving, felt a slow burn of fury igniting deep within his soul. Deeper they pushed, into the quiet heartland, tempting fate with every daring, silent step. Tension mounted, a palpable weight in the air, as France braced for the inevitable clash.
Take
Philip's
these
answer came
decrees to the
swift and
king.
sharp,
Ride
a
like the
summons,
wind,
calling
for
all his
God
strength
and
to
France.
arms. From
Form
every
ranks.
corner, proud knights
Ready your
answered,
weapons.
a formidable tide of French chivalry rising, a colossal army gathered, a testament to Philip's power, a truly overwhelming sight. His resolve hardened, trap the English king, crush him, make him pay dearly. The pace quickened, weariness settled deep, a growing shadow of the relentless pursuit.
Sir,
News arrived,
the French
grim
host
and
has moved
unavoidable.
faster than anticipated.
Philip's mighty host
They are
was
here,
closing in,
by the river near
fast.
Abbeville.
They hurried toward
Watch
the
the
coast,
gap.
seeking escape.
Hurry,
Yet the
we
hunter's
almost there.
shadow grew long.
Give us the
Locals
supplies.
rose,
Leave us
striking
be.
back in small, brave ways, stinging the English,
Back to England
hindering
with
their
you.
path. Exhaustion was a heavy cloak, slowing every step, testing the very limits of endurance.
That
Rivers
wood won't
became
hold.
barriers,
We have no
bridges
other choice. Move
narrowing
carefully.
the paths, leaving few choices. A chilling realization dawned. They were cornered. The vastness of France now a trap. Edward pondered, the weight of his men's fate heavy on his seasoned, burdened shoulders. A
We
stand
will not
was
yield
inevitable,
an inch of our
a
claim in
defiant last
France.
resort, a
Prepare the
desperate
levies,
final
for
throw
the
of
Black
the dice.
Prince will live.
This
Their
ground is
keen
too
eyes
soft for the
searched a
wagons, my
place.
liege.
Ground
Yonder
that might
ridge
just
offers
level
better
the
vantage.
impossible odds. Then, near Crecy, the land spoke, offering a silent, strategic whisper of hope.
The field
Edward's
is
brilliant
set.
mind saw it, a unique advantage, a way to fight against
God's
fate.
grace.
Orders
Form
were
up on
given,
the ridge.
positions
Hold the
taken,
line, men.
a disciplined,
Steady now.
weary army preparing for battle. They waited, hearts pounding, for the inevitable arrival of Philip's overwhelming force. The quiet settled, the calm before the thunder, a moment stretched thin with destiny. Edward's silent prayer, then his sword drawn, a final steadfast commitment to battle. This field, Crecy, would soon bear witness to a story told in blood and courage. Far on the horizon, dust clouds stirred, carrying the heavy footsteps of impending doom. Here, on this quiet land, a king made a silent promise, not to fate, but to his men. He saw more than earth. He saw a canvas where destiny would be painted, stroke by stroke. This gentle slope, an unassuming stage, would soon bear witness to a turning tide in history. It offered a subtle whisper of protection, a natural rampart against the coming furious onslaught. And those ancient woods, standing silent guards, were not just scenery but vital allies. They whispered a strategy, channeled their fury, confined their numbers into a narrow, exposed path. A funnel of fate designed with quiet genius, forcing an exposed front upon any who dared. Meanwhile, the English, with silent resolve, began their patient, disciplined preparations, a brotherhood. They dug the earth not in anger, but in careful, humble devotion to their king and cause. Each shovel of earth, a quiet prayer, transforming the ground into a fortress against overwhelming odds. A
Ensure the
painstaking
stakes are
effort,
firm along this
born not
entire
of fear,
section.
but of
We can't
shrewd
afford
foresight,
any weaknesses.
laying traps for thunderous hooves. Every man knew his place, a silent guardian in this carefully constructed, patient tapestry of defense. On the flanks, the longbowmen, England's true heart, took their chosen, silent, watchful positions. Their eyes, keen and knowing, scanned the distant horizon, awaiting the fateful arrival of a storm. A human wall,
Video features the
layered and
sounds of a
strong,
battle,
ready to
including
unleash a
whooshing,
tempest of arrows
explosions,
upon
and
the
the
charging
rattling of
enemy.
chains.
Every element meticulously placed, every man a vital thread in this defensive masterpiece, unwavering. This was not just an army, it was a living shield, maximized for defense, waiting patiently. They held their breath, their hearts beating as one, prepared to hold the line, come what may. Across the field, A vast, glittering ocean of French might stirred restlessly, a proud display. Yet, beneath the shine, impatience grew. A simmering disorganization began to take hold. Their very numbers, a blessing and a curse, fueling a dangerous confidence that overshadowed wisdom. Young knights, brimming with fervent, untamed courage, yearned for glory, heedless of the consequence. Their impetuous pride, a shining armor of hubris,
when the sun
blinded
rises,
them
we
to
must
the quiet
ensure those
dangers
we leave
awaiting.
behind.
Discipline fractured under the weight of such eager numbers. A dangerous, uncontrolled momentum building. The general's wise counsel, fragile whispers against the roar of anticipation,
The ground is against
were
us, and the
dismissed
generals
by
are
youthful
routed.
arrogance.
We must wait for
Confidence in their sheer numbers overshadowed strategy, overriding the very voices of battlefield experience. They believed victory was a birthright, assured by might alone, a belief that would soon be tested. Then, as if fate itself intervened, the heavens opened, dark clouds weeping upon the silent plains. A sudden, heavy rain shower, relentless and cold, descended, drenching everything in its wake. The earth itself softened, turning to heavy mud beneath their boots, hindering every hopeful step. And crucially, French crossbow strings, dampened and slacked, lost their deadly tension, their power gone. The odds,
move forward.
already skewed,
We are sinking in this
quietly
mud.
shifted further.
Hold the
A
line
silent,
steady, men. Wait
cruel
for the
twist
command.
of fate in England's favour.
Push
And so,
forward. We must reach
Philip's
the ridge.
grand, unwieldy
My
army
leg!
began its
I
clumsy,
cannot
haphazard advance
This mud
into
is
history's
swallowing us
unforgiving
whole.
embrace. The air hung heavy, a profound silence before the storm. These men, so tired, felt the chill deep within them. Their tools, once so fearsome, were now betraying them. The dampness clung, a subtle, cruel enemy. Orders barked, but hope was a flickering candle against the rising wind. Fear began to settle, a hesitant, almost apologetic volley barely reaching. The bolts fell short, whispers in the vast, unforgiving field. The English watched, unmoving, a quiet understanding passing among them. This was not the storm they feared. The ground itself seemed to mock the effort. A somber stillness then enveloped the landscape, pregnant with doom. Then, a different kind of quiet settled, a focused calm among the English. Their time had surely come. Generations of practice, born of necessity, guided these hands. Each arrow promised a terrible reckoning, swiftly delivered. With a signal, a forest of boughs drew back. The air hummed with a deep, menacing anticipation, ready to unleash. Then, the sky itself began to darken, not with rain, but with 1,000 points of iron flint, wave after wave, a relentless, living storm. The sheer volume of steel was a terrifying, beautiful spectacle. It was as if the very air itself had turned hostile. Arrows, countless, began their fatal journey earthward. The earth shuddered, then cried out. Each arrow a tiny, terrible spear, finding its mark without mercy. Panic, cold and sharp, seized them. There was no shelter from this tempest, nowhere to hide. The sound, oh, the sound, a constant, tearing hiss, followed by sickening thuds, then screams, then silence. One by one they fell, not like soldiers in battle, but like trees in a storm. Their spirits shattered, discipline vanished, replaced by primal terror. The vanguard, once proud, became a writhing mass of humanity. Dust and fear mingled, choking breaths. The battle became a nightmare, a suffocating, inescapable, terrible dream. Prideful eyes watched their allies crumble. Fire, hot and desperate, ignited within the hearts of the knights. Honor demanded action, even against such impossible odds. Their lineage, their very being, propelled them forward. With a roar they rode, a gleaming tide of steel, charging headlong into the heart of the storm. But the mud, that unseen enemy, clung to their hooves. Each stride became a struggle, a heavy, dragging effort. The arrows found them, even through plate. Horses screamed, men tumbled, swallowed by the unforgiving, watery earth. Their heavy armor, once their strength, became their tomb. Imprisoned by steel, they sank, slow and helpless. Discipline, so crucial, had dissolved. These charges were brave, yes, but terribly fragmented. each a lonely thrust. It was less a charge, more an immolation.
Keep moving,
Thousands of
don't stop.
arrows, a constant, pulverizing force, met their every advance. Plate armor, once thought impenetrable, proved vulnerable. The English arrow, a simple thing, redefined warfare's grim calculus. The pain was immense, but the humiliation perhaps deeper. To be struck down not by lance, but by a simple arrow, despair settled heavy, a tangible weight upon their souls. Hope was a casualty here, lost amid the arrow's fury. The field became a graveyard, hastily dug. Piles of the fallen, a chilling monument to archery's ruthless power. Still the longbowmen fired, an almost mechanical rhythm. Their faces, though weary, held a grim, unyielding purpose. As evening drew near, the shadows lengthened. They danced macabrely over the field, over the unprecedented, terrible slaughter. This was not just a battle, it was a reckoning. Chivalry itself lay shattered, broken upon Crecy's muddy field. The storm raged on, a ceaseless, brutal dance of steel and fear upon the plains. History watched, wave after wave, their courage immense. They threw themselves against an unyielding, hidden force. What hope remained? Their sustained efforts, though valiant, lacked the guiding hand, becoming a torrent of individual sacrifices. It was heartbreaking. Each charge, a thunderous tremor, yet it was a movement born of desperation, not true strategic unity. Uncoordinated, they stumbled forward, a magnificent but fractured force, their strength diluted by disarray, a sorrowful sight. The field swallowed them, one after another, their bravery a tragic echo against the English silence. It was terrible. Such uncoordinated zeal, a succession of isolated thrusts, met only the cold, unyielding wall of fate, a profound waste. The English longbows sang their deadly song, a relentless, whistling storm that decimated every approaching wave. A grim reaper, iron slip, they called it, a perpetual, unforgiving tempest of death, extinguishing countless valiant lives too soon. No armor, however strong, could withstand such a ceaseless, overwhelming tide of sharpened, flying death. They fell, horses and riders alike, tangled in the barbed embrace of fate, crumpled beneath the arrow's unfeeling hail. A tragedy. And through it all, the English line stood firm, an unbreakable barrier against the storm, silently defiant. They held, like ancient oaks, deeply rooted. They absorbed the shock, their resolve unwavering beneath the ceaseless, desperate attacks. An unyielding bulwark, their disciplined ranks held, a testament to training and the quiet strength of conviction. It was remarkable. Amidst the pandemonium, flashes of individual brilliance, a solitary defiance against the overwhelming, engulfing tide. Such courage, a single knight's valiant, doomed charge, a beacon of individual bravery, quickly swallowed by the chaotic waves. Such stark contrast, the individual's desperate fight against the collective sprawling, uncontrolled, agonizing descent into chaos, so poignant. Amidst this maelstrom, the French command struggled, their voices unheard, their authority fractured by the deafening storm. Orders dissolved into the wind, strategy lost its way, and a terrible confusion began to grip their hearts. The inability to impose order, to shape the tide, became a cruel, relentless companion to their despair. Far above the fray, King Edward watched, a king, a father, making choices etched in the grim legend of history. His own son, the young prince, fought below, learning the brutal lessons of war, surrounded by danger. A father's worry. A plea arrived.
The line
a desperate
cannot
call
hold.
for aid.
We need
Yet
support
the
now,
king,
or all is
with
lost.
a heavy heart, offered only a steadfast refusal. He chose faith over fear, trusting his son's spirit and his army's strength. In that terrible, defining moment, for his son must win his spurs, forge his own legend in fire and blood, earning his place. A hard path. A father's profound, challenging gift. The crucible of battle, where true honor and command are truly forged. His steadfast resolve, his calm assurance, spoke of ultimate confidence in his men. A silent, powerful trust. The carnage continued, a grim, vivid tableau of human suffering, painting the field in hues of despair. Horses stumbled, their powerful bodies failing, collapsing amidst the fray. Their silent suffering, a haunting backdrop. Knights fell, their aspirations shattered, their noble dreams crushed beneath the relentless, unforgiving wheel of battle. A lament. Slowly, inexorably, the French lines began to break. A systematic tearing apart of their once proud formations. It was over. The sheer scale of the slaughter was undeniable, a haunting testament to human futility against disciplined might. Wave after wave of French nobility, cut down, marked this field forever, a decisive, tragic turning point. The final desperate cries faded. The clash of steel grew distant. A heavy, somber silence began to creep. The echoes of battle, once deafening, now gave way. An eerie, profound quiet blanketed the field. This was not the calm after a storm, but the profound stillness that only death can truly bring. In that silence, the full, harrowing canvas of Crecy's horror was starkly laid bare. Each body a story silenced, a life extinguished. The field groaned under its heavy, grim burden. Thousands lay still, the very flower of French nobility, now just silent, broken figures on the earth. While the English lines showed sparse sorrow,
Steady now.
the French paid a devastating, unimaginable price this day. The sheer weight of their sacrifice was almost beyond comprehension, a stark, brutal testament etched forever.
Your
King
Majesty,
Philip,
we must
bruised and
ride
broken,
now.
was
Leave
urged
me,
away
the
from the
battle is
carnage,
lost.
a
Sire,
haunted,
follow
empty
us.
look in his eyes.
We must reach.
He stared, perhaps unable to truly grasp the unimaginable scale of the defeat unfolding before him. Fleeing the field, he left behind a kingdom's hope, shattered into a million irreparable pieces. His once mighty army, now a gruesome tapestry of the dead, abandoned to the field's cruel embrace. Edward's victorious men, exhausted yet alert, began to secure their hard-won ground methodically. They tended to their few wounded, their quiet ministrations a stark contrast to the earlier cacophony. Collecting spoils of war, their movements were slow, almost reverent, in the face of such profound death. A strange quiet settled over them. The magnitude of their victory was almost too much. No shouts of triumph, no celebratory cheers, only a deep, contemplative silence filled the air. The weight of what they had achieved, the sheer improbability, pressed heavily on their weary minds. No pursuit was ordered.
The flower of France,
the French force
scattered.
was utterly broken.
We move north at
Their
first
spirit
light.
and strength
Prepare the
extinguished.
men.
The day's fighting was done, the victory undeniably theirs, but at what an immense human cost. Under the solemn gaze of the moon, the victorious English made ready to spend a quiet night. Sleeping amidst the fallen, they guarded their impossible triumph, a shared burden of war and sorrow. And so, under a blanket of stars, history quietly carved its indelible mark upon this desolate French field. Crécy's echoes still whisper across these fields, a quiet testament to a changing world. Here, the age of the mighty armored knight began its slow, inevitable decline, a poignant end. Centuries of feudal warfare, woven into the very fabric of Europe, would soon unravel before our eyes. Crecy wasn't just a clash of arms, it was a brutal, thunderous awakening for all who watched. The overwhelming, unyielding power of disciplined infantry was revealed, a stark, new reality, and with them the advanced missile weapons, simple yet devastating, rewrote the rules of battle. This victory profoundly elevated the status of the English longbowman, a new kind of hero. The common foot soldier, often overlooked, now stood taller than any nobleman, a true champion. He rose above the aristocratic cavalry, their once unshakable dominance shattered on the field. It signaled a profound, irreversible shift in military power, a new chapter beginning. The psychological blow to French morale was devastating, a wound that festered deeply for years. While English prestige soared, reaching new heights of renown across the entire continent, fundamentally altering military strategy, minds began to ponder warfare in entirely new ways. And tactics for centuries to come, the very art of war was forever redefined from that day. Crecy wasn't just another battle. It was far more profound, a turning point in history. Indeed, it was a revolution, quiet in its aftermath, yet thunderous in its historical impact, proving that sheer numbers, without discipline or purpose, meant truly little that day. And traditional chivalry, however noble, crumbled against the harsh realities of war, against superior tactics, where foresight and planning truly triumphed over brute force, against discipline, the unyielding strength of men united under a single clear purpose. And technology, the simple longbow, became the ultimate equalizer, a silent, deadly force. The echoes of Crecy linger still, reminding us of the profound shifts born from conflict. The lesson remains. History is written not just by kings, but by the determined many. And so, friends, we arrive at the quiet heart of our tale, where the dust of battle has long settled. Crecy's whispers, soft and profound, echo across centuries, shaping the very fabric of our understanding. When the numbers seem hopelessly against you, and the path ahead darkens with doubt's heavy shroud, when every voice of seasoned wisdom declares your journey is destined for bitter, inevitable failure, that, my dear friend, is precisely when the human spirit often finds its most luminous, defiant strength. History, as we've seen, is not merely recorded. It is passionately rewritten by those who dare. Ingenuity, like a spark in the deepest night, illuminates new paths where none were thought possible. Discipline, a quiet, unyielding river, carves its way through the hardest stone, forging an unbreakable will. And courage, that sacred fire, burns brightest when despair threatens to extinguish every hopeful flicker. Crecy's hard-won lessons, etched deep into time, continue to resonate through every military strategist's contemplation. They whisper tales of audacious spirit, guiding hands that shape future battles and inspire steadfast hearts, inspiring future generations to look beyond the immediate, to find their own unconventional pathways to victory. But what, my friend, do you truly believe was the most critical factor in England's incredible victory? Share your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more profound journeys through history's heart.